Okay, so we're back with part 2 of my internet. Start again. Okay, so we're back with part 2 of my interview with Stephanie Say, who is a consultant at the London Skin and Scalp Clinic and also has her own hair education and treatment company. Trichology, Trichology.
Got it.
So this part of my interview is focusing now on our emotional attachment to hair and how our hair and what we're going through internally can affect our hair journey, and also what we can do and what people like Stephanie, our hair educators, geeks as she calls them, can do to support you too. So thank you for sticking around. We just had a little break and now we're back. So tell me a little bit more. I know when we spoke about on the telephone, we spoke about our emotional attachment to our hair and how when we're growing up, mum and dad always telling us our hair is our beauty. So tell me a little bit about women and our attachment, and men really, the attachment to hair.
Like hair is actually not a function needed by the body. It's hair.
You don't need hair.
Yeah, we don't need hair. I mean, you might think that you need it maybe to keep warm, maybe if it was an animal like a bear or something, maybe, but hair is not actually something we need. It's a secondary sexual function. It's for mate attraction. So the first thing that goes when you're under stress is your hair, or your body's under attack is your hair. They will forget about your hair. It doesn't happen to everybody, but most people, you probably find that your hair is not at its optimum when you're not well, or when your body's under attack, you've been in hospital or whatever. And it's not just because you haven't been taking care of it, it's because your body's actually not focused on sending nutrients to your scalp. It's busy sending nutrients and cells to repair, wherever has been, damaged. So that's why. But the thing is that our hair formulates part of our sexual identity. So it's very difficult, when you lose that hair, especially in a society whereby hair is used as a measure of sexuality and femininity and how you look and how beautiful. Oh, her hair is so beautiful and long and thick and luscious. It's why it's $1 billion industry because of that. So it's there is a big emotional attachment to it, and I mentioned sexuality and femininity, but it's not only women that have this attachment to their hair. There's men as well. I mean, you see some of those white elderly gentlemen who've combed their hair across, and you're like, you're 70, like.
Or those black. I saw a black guy the other day had really, really long locks. But he was completely bald here, and he was wrapping his locks round into like a crown of glory, which looked absolutely fabulous. But why was he keeping hold of these beautiful long locks, but was completely bald here?
It's men struggle with this just as much as women. People automatically assume that a woman would find it harder to talk about. Women do find it hard to talk about, but I have, in my time treating, I find that men find it particularly difficult to discuss and talk about, their hair loss. Some just put on the clippers and shave the hair down because they look good like that anyway, so that's great. But there's some men that their virility, and everything is attached to their hair, and I think that's why this beard thing has come in. It's like, okay, I can't grow out my head, but look at this beard.
I'm a man.
Look at this beard. Yes, look at this. I'm seeing so many beards, and I like beards, so it's okay with me. But there's a reason why it's happening.
But you know what? It's really funny. I've got a 15-year-old, and he's like, "Mum, can you see it?" I'm just like, "No, son." But look. Don't be too fast to grow up. So, it happens from a young age. You know my story. I think you were actually in the panel when I was told to cut off all my hair as part of my transition process. And I had this kind of heat wave of emotion that went through me. And I was like, can I do this? Can I not do this? And I was like, I don't think I could cope with short hair. I need hair. My hair is too long. But now you're telling me this. Am I just thinking this because I'm flat-chested? I've got a long head and that I feel like I'm gonna look like a man, or people aren't gonna know that I'm a woman.
Yeah, I mean, they're all valid emotions, and I think some people who aren't scared of cutting their hair, or who have cut their hair and look amazing with it, take it for granted that, let's be honest, not everyone looks fabulous with one of those super hair shortcuts. It's the same way that some people don't look great with long hair.
Absolutely.
You know, like Halle Berry looks absolutely stunning with her short hair. When she grows her hair, I'm like, you look kind of normal.
Average.
Yeah,
average.
You're normal.
So it's kind of like, you know, with cutting your hair and your attachment to your hair, it's also, you need to think about, does it suit me?
Yes. Does it suit me?
Am I going to be able to cope with with this?
Yes. Am I going to fall in love with, you know, myself? Because loving yourself should be part of it. And, you know, we find it difficult to love ourselves at the best of times, let alone cutting off the hair. And I guess I speak from a point where, you know, having lost my hair, it's not fun. It's not fun. So even cutting my hair seems very... I have shaved my head to the skin twice. The first time I had no choice, and I was kind of like, I don't like this, but I had no choice. Like there was like, I had a reverse Mohican, so it's this way, and I had hair just here and nothing here.
It wasn't a good look.
Here. It wasn't a good look.
You weren't a good
you
look.
know, and yes, I could braid that bit and wear a hairband, but it still didn't look good. So I had to get rid of it. The second time in my life, I chose to do it. My hair was really damaged. I associate my hair with what's happened in my life as well. So if I've been going through a particularly difficult time, I'm quite happy to cut my hair where I don't like it like that. My mum says, oh, you look gorgeous, you look so wonderful. And I'm like, no.
Like, Mummy, you're just saying that because you're my mum.
Yes.
And I love you for it.
You have to love me. So, you know, she's like, it really shows your face. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. You know, and I've got friends who say, but it's no difference to tying your hair back in a ponytail and showing your hair. But to me, it still is. Because, yeah, you've got a puff and there's hair there. It adds an extra zhuzh to it. So there's no right or wrong in what you do. Some people... You know, so many people are so judgmental. Oh, I don't know why she just doesn't cut it. It's just easier that way. That's personal preference.
And I didn't feel backed into a corner, but I was looking at all these fabulous women with all these nice, short, tapered cuts, and I was like, can I do that? Then I was like, am I willing to risk doing that? And then me looking in the mirror and hating the way that I look. I don't think I was. I did notice on the panel that all the hair specialists or medical specialists were very, very quiet when I was told to cut my hair. And I spoke to some of them afterwards, and this is where I started building my relationship with Stephanie. And one of the doctors said, Yvonne, make sure it's right for you. First of all, learn how to care for your hair before you decide to cut your hair. I would add to that in terms of making sure you go to a really good hairstylist that knows face shapes and knows what types of styles will suit you, because I know a little afro is not going to suit me. I don't even know if any hairstyle, short hairstyle, will suit me, to be quite honest. I think my hair's too long and my features are too prominent, and I don't wear enough makeup.
I think you could. I think you can, but I'm looking at you saying I think you can. Someone will look at me and say they think I can. But, you know, you've got to take your head shape into account. I've got a very small head. Contrary to what it looks like, my head is very small. This little bit of my head...
This is all hair.
Yeah, this is tiny, this bit. So when I shave my head, you see cheeks and this little head. It's funny to me.
But you know what? All power to those women that, you know, are able to detach that emotion. And that kind of, as you say, that realising that they are sexy and they are fabulous without their hair. Because I know when I was growing up as a little, you know, maybe in primary school, I used to stick my, I don't know if, you know, if you're going to admit it, but I'm sure you did, put the towel on your head.
And then I used to flick it. I was a princess in a tower.
Yeah, just flick it.
I would just wrap it like this, and it was like an updo.
Yeah, an updo, and I'm a cardigan.
Yes.
And I used to have the sleeves hanging down here. And be flicking. So that, you know, we were conditioned from a very young age to feel that way. And also, you know, I know that this series is specifically talking about Afro hair, but obviously, you know, Stephanie and I both want to appeal to all markets. It's also a case of long hair was a sign of beauty. I remember my grandmother and my mother being like, "Oh, don't cut your hair." You know, when I first cut it, I think the first time I cut my hair really, really short, I must have been about. My mum sent me to the hairdresser when I was about 14, and I came back with no hair, and she was like in total shock. I loved it at that time. But it was that your hair is your beauty. And to be quite honest, as Stephanie says, you are more than your hair. And you don't just need your hair. Your hair has no function in terms of a human. Our bodily hair does not keep us warm. It is just enhancing our confidence. So if you feel that you can do it,
yeah, and if you can detach it, so there are so many women who are like, yeah, I'm not my hair, I don't have time to do hair, I'm just going to cut it, and they look amazing. And there are women who are obsessed with hair, like me, it's why I studied it. I'm not shy to say that's why I studied it. And I think maybe I have a different relationship with my hair because I lost it.
Yeah.
So when you lose something, you become obsessed with it.
Absolutely.
It is my obsession. Yeah, it is my obsession. And if you think about the media images that we're bombarded with, they're all of long hair. If you watch a Disney cartoon with Disney princesses,
the princess
always has long hair. So, we can't help it. We're bombarded with images left, right, and centre. So if you can remove yourself from that and think, oh, I don't care, I like my hair like this, or when I look at myself, I think I look good like this, then wear your hair like that. That's my advice to anyone. Wear your hair how you think you look good without detrimenting your hair.
And don't think of it as in, I won't be attractive. I won't attract somebody.
Yes.
My partner, my husband, etc. will no longer love me. I'm not going to find a new partner or a boyfriend.
I've got a guy friend who likes girls with short natural hair. That's his thing. If he sees a girl with short natural hair, he will look. He can't help it. That's what he thinks is attractive. So everybody has what they find attractive as well. Men have their individual attraction. So, thinking that I will grow my hair so that every man will love me. Some men will be like, what's she got that hair for? She needs to cut that. My dad personally prefers my mum with her short natural hair. When she grows it, he's like, I don't know what she's doing.
Why is she growing it?
Yeah, why is she growing? And then he's confused. So I would say, do you? Do you? If you don't want to cut your hair because you don't like how it looks, good. If you want to cut all your hair off, good.
And with regard to the link to sexuality, if you feel confident in the way that your hair looks and you're taking care of your hair and your hair's conditioned well, you're going to attract and you're going to maintain anybody that comes into your life or is in your life.
Exactly.
So don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Hear me practicing and I'm still trying to hold on to the ends of my hair. I'm just getting that, but as you say, do you, and I'm doing me.
Yeah, you'll cut it when you're ready.
Absolutely.
I remember when I grew out my hair, when I went on my hair journey, my hair was patchy. So I had two different lengths of hair. I had hair that was like this long and hair that was really long that was here. And I was attached to the long pieces of hair. And one day I was doing my hair and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I've got hair down to here and hair here. So I just took the clip and I cut my hair. And then I sent my friend a picture and she was like, why did you do that? And I'm like, because I was getting tired.
Yeah, you were ready.
Yeah, I was just ready. Mentally, I was ready. It's like, people talk about weight loss. Oh, you have to lose weight, you have to put on weight, blah, why don't you mind your business? When the person
you're healthy.
Yes, when the person is ready, if they choose to, they will embark on their own journey.
Absolutely.
It's not about your opinion on that person that will make them do something. It's that person's own decision. That's why I always say to people, you know what? Just do you.
Just do you. As long as you're healthy and you treat yourself well, that's the main thing. Okay. Over to the next question. We're talking about kind of like our emotional attachment to hair, and I just want to talk about emotions can manifest and affect us in various different ways. You've spoken about the way that emotions, particularly stress, can make us lose our hair. So how can we take care of our hair internally? What can we be doing to make sure that not only the things that we do to our hair, but the things that we take internally, our diet, etc., benefits.
Yeah, I mean, the hair. If the body is adequately nourished and there's no deficiencies anywhere, it can send any surplus to the hair and scalp. So it will send it to the scalp to produce new good quality hair. It's important to drink lots of water. I know that's boring. I love water. I drink like 2.5 liters a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, minimum. Like if I don't drink that much, I'm like, oh, I don't feel well. And that's me. Again, that's me. That's how I've conditioned myself. I've got myself to a point where if I don't drink water in a day, I don't feel right. But yeah, you need fluid. So ideally water, because our body is actually 70% water. So we need to, and it helps cushion our organs. It's good to move things around our body. Eating a healthy, balanced diet. And that's not to say that, I'm not going to talk about, different eating types, whether you're vegan or vegetarian or this, just a good, healthy, balanced diet. Make sure you get all the food groups within there, so carbohydrates, fats, proteins, all of that, into your diet. Make sure that it's balanced. I'm not going to talk about, this much of the plate, this much of the plate. I think we can all use our sense to say that this is about right for everything. Get a good healthy amount of vegetables so you get your minerals and your vitamins. Just make sure that your body's nourished well all the time. And the killer to the cells in our body is processed food. It has no nourishment. And we all love it. I ate McDonald's yesterday, I'm not going to lie.
We do like a bit of processed food, but it's no good for us.
Yeah.
And we know this.
Yeah.
We know this.
But everything in moderation.
But it's, it's quick, it's easy. But as you say, it's kind of like, okay, we can have our guilty pleasure, but everything in moderation.
Yeah. So, processed food has no nutritional value whatsoever. Everything, that's why it's called processed food. Everything's been processed out of it. You want, things that are, it's a wholesome food that you've cooked yourself, ideally, prepared from scratch is the best kind of food to eat. And that helps keep all your minerals in balance. Because if you've got an imbalance, your body is struggling already that you don't have that. So say you've got a vitamin D imbalance, your body is desperately trying to synthesize it, trying to make it, but you don't have it. So whatever you eat, your body will take it to use, when you synthesize a little bit of it from the sun, it will say, okay, I'm going to use that for this, and I'm going to use that for this. No, sorry, you're not on the list.
You're too far down the list.
Sorry,
yeah.
I got to get to these people first. Can you wait 3 weeks? But it is dependent on whether you eat, make some more. And they're like, oh, okay, fine, I'll wait. It's that kind of thing. So you need to definitely make sure you have a healthy, balanced diet and try and seek out if you have any deficiencies. Commonly with black people in the UK is vitamin D deficiency, because vitamin D is synthesized by the sun. Our melanin also slows down the synthesis of it. So we need larger and stronger amounts of sun. So we need to be in the sun longer and it needs to be stronger. The small amount of sun we get in the UK is enough for most Caucasian people to get their adequate amounts of vitamin D. And even they are struggling these days to get their quota. So let alone us with melanin, which is
which adds
a barrier. So make sure you get your sunny holidays and make sure you check with your doctor that you're not vitamin D deficient. If you go out in the sun, make sure you try and expose a bit more of your skin. I'm not saying just like
you don't want none of that all walking around.
But just expose a bit more of yourself to get. I remember someone said, expose your wrists, and I looked at him, I was like, what's that gonna do? I was like, okay, I'm gonna get more sun. And also your iron. Look at your iron levels. That can have a big impact on hair. Iron deficiency is one of the single reasons that people are suffering from shedding and thinning hair. And because we have our menstrual cycle, it is a big issue. Like some people have heavier periods, some people have a more how do you put it? Their cycle comes around more often. So they might be, some people on as much as a 35-day cycle, some people can be at least a 24. So they'll have like 14 periods in a year and someone else will have 12. So, or 9, because of their cycles. So you got to monitor that and make sure that you've got the adequate levels, because if your iron stores are low and you're lacking in hemoglobin as well, that means that you don't have enough iron. But your hemoglobin levels might be okay, but your iron stores aren't great.
Yeah.
So you need to find the good balance. You need to make sure that your iron stores are at an optimum level and your hemoglobin is also at an optimal level. There's a lot of people walking around with mild anemia. They don't realise it is affecting their hair because the level of serum ferritin that's required for hair production is a lot higher than what is required for illness.
Right.
So doctors will if your ferritin is a certain level, they'll say it's fine. But
what do you mean by the ferritin?
So your ferritin is your iron store.
Oh, okay.
So it's where your iron is stored. So if your hemoglobin drops and it says, "Oh, you need something,"
it will send something.
Yeah. So it was like, "Here you go. Here's some help." A lot of people's serum ferritin drops right down, and they don't realise. So if your serum ferritin is very low, it might be below the required amount for hair growth, but it's fine for your health. So the doctor will be like, "That's fine." But you still need to know if your hair is thinning, because then okay, I need to up it a bit. And there are supplements you can take like fluorescein, which has lysine and a small amount of, I think it's ferrous fumarate in it, which get your levels back up to that requisite level. So iron is a big one. That does cause hair shedding. It is one of the key reasons.
So iron and vitamin D are things that we can make sure we've got an iron-rich diet.
Yes.
Vitamin D.
Yes.
And where do we get fish oil?
Vitamin D can be found in some fish oil. They do add it to some fish oils, but it's mainly the sun. It's synthesized by the sun.
So we need to go on holiday at least once, twice a year. And just lay in the sun. Just soak it up. Actually, don't lay in the sun, because then you won't enjoy wherever you are.
Yeah.
But just be out and about as much as possible.
Yeah.
And the limited time in the UK or the US or wherever you are that that we do get sunshine, make sure you make the most of it. Okay. Anything else we need to add to what we can do internally to improve our hair?
I think exercise is always a good one as well. Just making sure everything's ticking over, so you're not feeling unwell, or your body's moving, because even like joint pain and that can also have an effect, because the cells are trying to repair that area, so it's going to have an effect on you. It can have an effect on your hair.
It totally makes sense, because we don't have a need for our hair. If there's anything else that needs help, our body's going to help that part of our system before our hair. Because it's like, you know what, you don't really need that. So let's fix what you do really need. And if you've got any surplus, we'll give it a little bit of a throwback, as it were, a kickback,
exactly,
as it were, in terms of the treatment.
Precisely.
Really interested. So water, vitamin D and iron, and
balanced
diet, and
a little bit of exercise.
I'm
not asking you to pick up running. I don't like running. I don't jog. I'm not going to do a marathon. It's not me. Like, people say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do a marathon." I can't think of anything worse than doing a marathon. Well done to those that can do it.
Absolutely, power to you.
But that's not me.
Walking to work.
Yes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Walk to
doing
work.
An extra work. Getting off the stop early, or saying, "Oh, the bus isn't coming for 15 minutes. I can walk that." That's exercise. It doesn't have to be like put on, the leggings, the crop top, and start doing this, and I'm in the gym. It doesn't have to be that. It can be very simple.
Absolutely. So my final question in the series is just talking a little bit more about you and your business. You now are at the Hair and Scalp Clinic.
Hair and Skin Clinic.
Skin Clinic?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be rethinking the services that you provide. So tell me a little bit more about that, because I'm sure nobody wants to, your clients must be a little bit fearful as in terms of, oh my gosh, where do I go now? What am I going to get? But this is fantastic, because actually more people can actually make use of your services now.
I mean, I will be at the London Skin and Hair Clinic. That's where I'll be treating now. By all means, come to the London Hair and Skin Clinic. That's where specialists in hair will have we're getting a massive team together to do, give a wonderful offering to people. But in the meantime, means that the dynamics of Stephanie Say Trichology changes. But it's not in a major way. It's just that now, clinic-wise, you find me there.
Absolutely.
That's where I am.
It's about growth.
Yes. And when it comes to everything else, the education piece still stays, because education is really important to me. I think there's so much misinformation out there on how to handle our hair, and people get bogged down with all of this information and the do's and don'ts.
And this is why I've got Natasha and Stephanie into my studio bathroom. It's because I was getting so much information, so many different people, so many different bloggers telling me different information, and you know what? It was great, but it was right for them, and I just wanted to see what was right for me. And also share that with you guys.
Yeah. So, you know, teaching people about how to manage the hair, recognizing when there is a problem and getting the help. Also teaching people that the trial and error phase of getting to know your hair and understanding what works for it and what doesn't work for it is perfectly normal. Black women have a bigger dialogue around their hair because we haven't worn our hair in our natural state. So it does seem very overwhelming. But there are white women that do speak, and other races of women that speak about their hair. You know, I get friends looking at the tips and they're like, I think this conditioner is drying out my hair. I might try a different one. So it's not just us having the dialogue about our hair. It's just that ours is bigger because it's almost like we go from dealing with one texture to another texture. And that's the big conversation. So learning about the hair, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you try what a blogger tried, or a vlogger, you know, a YouTube expert, there's nothing wrong with that at all either. But just be wary that maybe that's what's working for them. You know, you can go into the science of hair and then, you know, sometimes figure stuff out. And I was saying earlier that I even get it wrong sometimes. I'll put something in my hair, I'm like, oh my days, what did I just do? I tried to use beeswax and gel the other day, and all I know is it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I had to be somewhere in 15 minutes. 15 minutes! I've never rinsed something out of my hair so fast. I was like, took the biggest slab of aloe vera gel and prayed. I went, please God.
Yeah. I saw someone putting beeswax and gel in their hair, and all I just thought was that's going to be too much product and washing out. But it worked for them.
Yes, and that's what I saw it. Like that's what I'm saying. I still see things and think, oh, let me try that out. I'm like, no. So now I've got a tub of beeswax. Does anyone want it? You're quite welcome to it.
Free giveaway.
But yeah, it doesn't work. But you know, reading and my research, and I want to share that research, and not from a point of view that, oh, this worked for me. It's from a point of view this is the scientific way that products work with hair. So if you think your hair is like this, this might work for you. You know, my hair is low porosity or high porosity, so if I do this might work for me. It's not to say it will, but at least you can give it a try with a kind of science backup to say, okay, this is why it works.
Definitely find out what porosity your hair is, because that has a large bearing on the types of products and the type of care that you should.
Because some products will just sit on top of your hair because they can't penetrate because of the type of the porosity you have, and some will just soak in. So it really, you know, it is trial and error, and that's why the education is in two parts. It's about the hair and skin and scalp conditions, and then it's also about the care and maintenance of your hair as well.
So is that going to be one-to-one sessions? Is that going to be workshops? How's that?
It's going to be in the form of workshops, and also potentially like an online platform as well, where people can have a look at. Yeah. So
that sounds really, really, really exciting. When do you plan to launch that?
Well, it's coming to seen as we're getting to the end of the year. You know, Christmas is coming. It'll probably be in the new year. So yeah.
So this video should be out, and you should be able to follow Stephanie Say, so you can find out when her workshops are open. Also, keep up with her journey as she starts her new role at the clinic. So Stephanie, before we go, shout out your social media handles so everyone knows where to follow you.
You can find me at SS Trichology on Facebook. My Instagram probably will change again, but at the moment it's Stephanie_Say_Trichology. Yeah, I know. That's why it's going to change.
I didn't even have to say anything. You just knew.
Yeah, that's why it's changing. It's like, and then my email address is info@stephaniesay.co.uk. My surname is spelled S for Sierra, E for Echo, Y for Yankee.
Okay. sake. Okay, so we've come to the end. If you have any questions, please don't forget to contact us either directly to Stephanie, or you can contact me and I'll pass those on. If you need another follow-up video, I'm sure you're not going to mind joining me in the bathroom again.
No, not
at some point.
No.
I hope we've had some fun. I think we've had some fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next video. Bye.